Some more shit your father should have taught you. So the front brakes and rotors on my car are completely shot. So I'm gonna be fixing them and walking you guys through the process. So if you wanna save yourself a couple $100 and do it yourself, you can. First thing you have to do is figure out whether it's your brake pads, your rotors, or both. If you're driving and you press the brakes and it sounds like this, then that usually just means you have to change your brake pad. But if when you're pressing the brakes, the wheel starts to shake and the whole car starts to vibrate, that means that you need to change the rotors. When you change your brake pads, you don't have to change your rotors, but if you change your rotors, you have to change your brake pads. So it's like, Whenever you're working on anything that has to do with the components of your brakes, you wanna let the car sit for a couple of hours and cool down, because anything that has to do with the brakes get hot as fuck whenever you're driving. First thing you wanna do is loosen all the lug nuts, and if one of the lug nuts doesn't wanna come off, there's an easy fix for that. Now that the lug nuts are all loosened, go ahead and grab your jack and jack the car up. Now that the car's jacked up, you can remove all the lug nuts and take the wheel off. After the rim is off, get in the car and turn the wheel so that that red caliper is sticking outward. Just makes it easier to work on. If you look real close, I have this little pin. Don't fucking lose it. Now I'm gonna use this screwdriver to pop this pin out. There. Next part, you need this little special tool. If you're gonna ask the guy at the auto parts store for it, the scientific name for it is a pushy thingy. It's a little expensive, but it don't matter because we're gonna return this shit when we're done anyway. These are the two brake pads. Shimmy it in between the two brake pads, and you're gonna start clamping. And what that's gonna do is spread the brake pads apart. They should both just slide right out. Whenever you're spreading the brake pads apart, you wanna make sure you spread them far enough where these little pistons get pushed back into the caliper. This is called the caliper, so you want to go ahead and go behind it, and you're going to remove this bolt and this bolt right here, because this is what holds it into place. Once you get the caliper off, this little cord right here is your brake line, and it's very fucking important. You don't want to pull on it, so you just want to kind of find somewhere you can rest it where it's not gonna, break or snap. At this point, your rotor should just pop off, but sometimes it gets rusted and it gets stuck in here. So what you're gonna do is get a bolt. I think it's like an 8mm bolt, and you're gonna stick it in this little hole and start screwing it in. That's gonna loosen the back plate and pop it off. Oh, there we go. If you want to do things by the book, you would get a bottle of brake cleaner and a wire brush, and you would scrape off all this fucking rust and everything like that. But you don't really have to, and I'm not gonna. From this point on, you're literally just gonna reassemble everything you just. Quick hack, the rotor is not gonna stay in place. It's gonna want to kind of push forward on the bottom. So just take one of your lug nuts and just screw it on to kind of hold it in place. It's time to put the brake pads back in. One of the brake pads is gonna have this little metal thingy. You wanna put that on the inside, and it should slide right into place. You go ahead and slide the other one in. This little piece is called the tension pad. Slide the pin back in. It should go in front of the plate. Reinsert your little pin. Straighten out your tires. Remove the lug nut. Reattach your rim. The very last thing you're gonna do is get in the car, pump the brakes 3 or 4 times. That's gonna reignite the pistons so that your car can actually, stop. This part's so fucking satisfying. And now you have brand new brake pads and rotors. And dirty ass fucking hands. I need a fucking blunt. Oh, fuck my life.